What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another COD mode video. So today we're going to be discussing a brand new mechanic that is going to be making its way for Season 6, which is supposed to be the next major update for COD Mobile. And this one is actually very interesting and something that might actually change the way the game functions. So for a very long time, this game has had hit flinch, and something that has always annoyed me about this game by far, because I think for me personally, hit flinch has always been a mechanic just meant for bad players to get an edge on good players who have better aim. Of course, that opinion is kind of subjective because obviously when it's assault rifle versus assault rifle, yeah, that's where hit flinch will probably be a thing. But when it's like sniper against assault rifle or something like that, obviously it's understandable since, I mean, there needs to be some sort of balance with sniper rifles. Either way, hit flinch has always had some sort of negative appeal to, I'm sure, a lot of players, including myself, because it kind of just cheats people out of a kill, even though they know full well that they deserved it. And that also explains why, for the majority of the time that I've played this game throughout, I guess from like season 6 of year 1 all the way to now, I've used toughness for the majority of the time because the hit flinch is just crazy in this game. Like if I wanted to get hit flinch, I mean, I would play like a campaign mode or something, because I mean, you guys seen how hit flinch is over there. But in this game in particular, since we already have a lot of different mechanics, I mean, we have bullet spread to worry about. We also have recoil control, hip fire accuracy, all that stuff. Hit flinch just kind of like takes a back seat when it comes to the game mechanics. Really, the only guns that are focused heavily on hit flinch are maybe snipers or maybe just the Black Ops weapons that have some sort of grip tape that increases your flinch reduction by a huge amount. As for the normal weapons, they don't really focus too much on hit flinch unless you're using a strike or a steady stock. Even if you use a strike stock, it doesn't really provide a lot of hit flinch. It's maybe like 8% at the very best. It could probably be higher as well, depending on what weapon you're using. But for the most part, if you use like a combat stock or even a no stock, I mean, they have more serious hit flinch downsides than if like you had a strike stock that would give you more, like if it would give you any sort of benefit. So yeah, like there's not really a lot of weapons that help with hit flinch. And that's why, for the most part, that's why I've always used toughness, because that's the only thing that gives me any sort of flinch reduction. And it annoys me that it kind of like restricts me on what I can use with the green perk. I mean, recently I've been using quick fix just to rush a little bit more, but you know, I would like if, you know, if we had some sort of specialist thing going on where we could, you know, use multiple green perks or something like that. Because again, like the hit flinch in this game is just extremely annoying. Not all weapons have very high hit flinch. Like I said, they have their own stats. But when it comes to, like, let's say the Fennec, for example, because I know that weapon just flinches like crazy. If you use that one, you're definitely going to notice it. So yeah, like guns like that, you probably would have to use toughness with. But I think with this new mechanic called bullet impact, it's going to change the way hit flinch feels. So since I'm absolute trash on explaining what this shit is, Leakers on Duty, of course, took it upon themselves to actually explain what this actually does. So let's actually read it. So, new mechanism, bullet impact. Now hit flinch will no longer be affected just by the weapon itself. The attacker's bullet impact will also affect how much the hit flinch is. Formula to calculate the total hit flinch, attacker's bullet impact index times the defender's hit flinch. So I'll explain that right now. Note, in the test server version, only certain weapon types receive general bullet impact index. In future versions, other weapons attachments will have different bullet impact index through balanced patches. Flinch adjustment, hit flinch recovery will now only be affected by recoil. Hip fire / ADSing hit flinch recovery will no longer recover faster and quickly disappears under hip fire state. So even now, I still kind of don't understand like what the hell is like going on. But I do have basic, like I guess a basic, very, very basic understanding of how this is going to work. So basically, the stronger the weapon is, and they've explained this on the Leaguers on Duty Discord, the stronger the weapon is, the more hit flinch you are going to receive. So let's say, for example, if someone's using a QXR against you and you get hit a few times, you're not really going to feel the hit flinch as much as if they were using maybe a Man of War or an Odin. So it doesn't really take long to figure out that most of the heavy weapons in this game don't really cause that much flinch. If you use like a LMG or or maybe even like a heavier assault rifle, you're not really going to notice hit flinch that much. But when you're using lighter weapons like the Fennec or even the QXR, yeah, you're definitely gonna notice the hit flinch. So basically, what this means is that the higher the caliber the weapon is, like I said, the Man of War or Odin, the more serious the hit flinch is going to be. So again, this could change the game in many ways, meaning that, let's say, for example, you're using a Fennec, and I keep bringing this up, sorry, but yeah, if you're using a Fennec and you're going against another person with like another SMG, the hit flinch that you take by using the Fennec won't be as serious as before. Of course, all that goes to shit if you end up going against someone that has an AR or an LMG. But again, I don't really know how serious the hit flinch is going to be even after that. I'm assuming that snipers are also going to have some serious hit flinch penalties, well, against, anyone that's in the receiving end of it. But again, I mean, most snipers usually do take one shot to kill, so I don't really think hit flinch is going to matter too much in the grand scheme of things, at least when it comes to snipers. But when it comes to LMGs and assault rifles, yeah, that's where hit flinch is definitely going to play a huge role in these gunfights. And as of right now, they only said like some weapons have that feature right now, the bullet impact. But again, they also said that attachments, well, I guess certain attachments might actually help resist bullet impact, or it might actually decrease the bullet impact resistance. So, I mean, there could be barrels out there, I mean, maybe heavier like marksman barrels for SMGs that can actually help resist against the huge hit flinch. So all this, again, it's very interesting because, again, I don't really know how to calculate hit flinch that well. I just go by how the gun feels mainly. When I'm using a Man of War, or if I'm using like an EM2 or something that's heavy, I don't really notice hit flinch that severely. But when I'm using like an SMG or maybe even a lighter assault rifle, yeah, of course I do feel it. But yeah, it's like having this new feature in this game. I'm not really sure how it's going to go, but from what they said, it might actually give the Odin and the Man of War some more time to shine. Since those weapons have higher calibers and do much more damage and are a lot heavier, you could only guess how strong those things are going to be. Of course, we have to take into account as well the LMGs such as the PKM or even the Holger. But again, the ones that we don't really have to worry about too much, since most of them are one shot, are obviously the snipers as well as the marksman rifles. I think the one that you're probably going to have to worry about, the one that only like does a 2-shot, is probably the SKS. But even then, I mean, I don't really know how serious it's going to be. So this is something that we're going to have to wait and see. And I'm actually really like interested in testing this. But of course, I think that toughness is going to be there if you just don't want to worry about that thing in general. So like if you want to use like really light attachments on certain guns, I mean, you could use toughness to kind of just nullify most of the hit flinch issues. Keep in mind, hit flinch reduction with that perk is like 60+%. So yes, obviously with toughness, it's probably not going to be a huge issue. And plus, even with the Black Ops weapons, there are those grip tapes that do increase your like hit flinch resistance. So, for example, like the Peacekeeper, it goes by like what, 25% at this point? I mean, it used to be 90. But yeah, most of the Black Ops weapon, if you just use those types of attachments, it'll probably, nullify most of those issues. But it's awesome. I mean, I could use SMGs now with slightly less consequences. It all really depends on what the enemy player is using. But yeah, like I'm kind of happy that this is happening. I don't like it. I might come to regret that, but again, I mean, for all we know, this could be one of the greatest changes in this game, like currently. Anyways, guys, I hope this explained bullet impact a little bit further for any of you guys that might have trouble, understanding what this actually means. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure you leave a like, make sure to subscribe for some more COD mobile content, and I'll see you guys next time.